Anyone who's spent time in the tech world has probably felt that familiar sting of certifications, just not keeping up with how fast things move. It's a real headache. So tell me, what's this new minor revisions process Cisco's cooked up, and what's the big idea behind it now?
Basically, Cisco's finally taking a page out of the agile playbook for their certifications. Instead of those giant, painful overhauls every couple of years that nobody looked forward to, they're going for small, frequent tweaks. We're talking less than 20% change at any given time. The whole point is to keep those exams perfectly in sync with what's actually happening in tech, without making us feel like we have to start from square one every time.
That sounds like a breath of fresh air. But beyond just keeping things updated, what's the real game changer here for us, the candidates, and the industry at large? What kind of pain point does this actually solve for the everyday IT pro?
Oh, it's all about relevance, plain and simple. Finally, professionals can actually be confident that what they're pouring their time into studying is genuinely what's being used out there in the real world. And here's the kicker. They're specifically yanking out all that outdated stuff from the exams. No more wasting precious brain cells on tech that's been put out to pasture.
That's music to my ears. This agile approach really sounds like the way forward for keeping certifications from becoming ancient history. So let's get down to brass tacks. How has this shiny new process actually shaken things up for something like the much talked about CCIE Enterprise Infrastructure v1.1 lab exam?
The v1.1 update is absolutely the poster child for this new system. They've really gone all in on software-defined networking. For example, the blueprint now spells out things like SD access overlays and SD-WAN controller architecture in way more granular detail. And get this, they even ditched some of the old guard, like booting out Flex VPN use cases and bringing in static GRE tunnels. Talk about a refresh.
Okay, let's really peel back the layers on this CCIE Enterprise Infrastructure v1.1 update. What are some of the absolute biggest changes or shiny new additions that candidates are going to bump into on that exam blueprint, especially when we're talking about SDN or automation?
When it comes to automation, things are getting seriously specific. The blueprint now actually names data formats like YAML and Jinja, no more ambiguity there, which are just crucial for modern network programmability. And get this, they've also thrown in tasks around deploying and verifying model-driven telemetry. That's a massive leap forward, honestly.
So the blueprint itself is clearly doing its part, evolving right alongside the tech. But what about the actual lab environment? Has the hardware and software side of things also caught up to support all these exciting new topics?
You're hitting on a really critical point there, especially for anyone grinding away preparing for that CCIE Enterprise Infrastructure lab. The practical environment is absolutely everything. So what are we looking at in terms of key updates to the hardware and software that candidates will actually get their hands on in the v1.1 lab? And has the overall exam format itself shifted at all?
That's a good distinction to make. The format itself, the actual structure of the exam, thankfully hasn't changed a bit. But you're right, the tools have gotten a serious glow-up. Candidates will now be getting hands-on with the absolute latest software. We're talking iOS XE release 17.9 and SD-WAN release 20.9. And for the hardware junkies out there, the physical switches have been upgraded to the beefy Catalyst 9300s.
So essentially the lab environment is finally keeping pace with the content, which is fantastic. But we're not totally thrown off by a new exam structure. That actually brings up a bigger, more philosophical question, doesn't it? What does this mean for the future of certifications in this absolutely whirlwind tech landscape we're living in?
Exactly. You nailed it. These minor revisions are way more than just a new calendar for updates. It really feels like Cisco's agile shift is a deliberate move to make sure their certifications stay a genuine, real-time snapshot of what an expert truly knows and can do.